Actually, I found out about this group by running into James on the street. And he came up to me and introduced himself.
Did you, were you open to having someone in a wheelchair talk to you?
No. I hated the idea of actually being a friend just because we're in a chair together. But then you find out that there's actually more to it than that.
Because there's so few of us out there. I mean, you know, when you think about spinal cord injury, there's around 85,000 in Canada. And when you group together the other physical and cognitive and intellectual disabilities, we are a minority. So it's really challenging to learn how to best do things on your own because there's not tons of people around you doing it. So when you get involved with peer support, the main benefit for me is just being able to see how other individuals do the things that I want to do, and with such different ways of doing it.
I mean, this group is probably one of the most diverse groups I've ever seen, with people from all different walks of life and backgrounds and professions, ages, and it doesn't matter. Everybody gets along, everybody feeds off of each other. You know, it's pretty neat to see when you have that much diverse ability and you actually have a community that what I would consider works.
Accessible Okanagan, to me personally, has been an invaluable outlet, organization, I guess, for me to learn how to be comfortable in my wheelchair.
After an injury or anything, it's easy to sit at home and not do anything. So to get out of your comfort zone and talk to everyone and meet new people, it's huge for growing in life. After, well, what happened to me, I kind of thought, you know, I was thinking, why me? Like, why did this happen to me? And I didn't really consider all the things that happened to other people. So when you kind of tell someone what you're struggling with and they say like, oh, I struggle with that too, and you know, this is how I get through it, it just kind of opens your eyes and helps you get through any challenges that you're facing.
It was an event that James Heckner put on Facebook and I signed up for it.
Hi, I'm James Heckner, and we are here with Accessible Okanagan.
Wait, what am I doing here today? Why am I here? You know, a big part of it is not having to keep up to some degree with the able-bodied adventures. It puts you on everybody on the same playing field.
Well, I've got 100 numbers in my phone, basically through Accessible Okanagan, that I can contact or get in touch with for various reasons, just simple questions or someone to talk to, you know, about life in a chair or life in general, you know, because sometimes you need that 4-foot perspective on life as opposed to an able-bodied, you know, 5-foot plus.
Well, I think you're mixing some of the veterans with some of the rookies, so that always helps. You know, we can learn off the rookies.
My name's Josh Dewick, and I am with Accessible Okanagan.
You know, there's very little formal mentorship happening at these community peer mentorship and peer support events, but all of the informal conversations that happen is, I think, where you learn the most. Just listening in on what people are talking about and how they're learning and how they're doing things. And every time I come to an event like this, when I go home, I learn how to do something new that improves my quality of life. And that's what it's all about, is making your life more enjoyable, making it easier, and just getting back to doing the things that you love to do. And that's what peer support allows you to do.
I think the secret sauce to a successful peer group would be simplicity, routine, and a dedicated and supportive board of directors that are all in chairs or all have some form of physical disability.
When we started this, there was no intent of starting a group. We just wanted to have a beer and a plate of nachos and enjoy life. And people fed off of that. They saw us having a beer, a plate of nachos, cruising along the beach, and with a smile on our face, and people would watch us go by and like, that's pretty cool. I want to be part of that, right? So it's never been an intent to make something happen. If it grows on its own because you're having fun, people are going to want to come out and have fun with you. Just keep it real.
If you have a routine peer group every single week or every 2 weeks or maybe every month, we like to have ours every week, and it seems to work well at 1 o'clock on Wednesdays, and it has been for the last 10 years. People just know that in Kelowna at 1 o'clock on Wednesdays at the same place, same time, every week, that's where it is.
No, I do think it's important that it's solely run by people with disabilities or in chairs, because we're the ones that know what we want. We're the ones that can say this is what we want to do, or we talk to our peers and figure out what they want to do. You know, there's a lot of able bodies that think that they know what somebody in a wheelchair is going through, or they know what somebody in a wheelchair wants. But I think it's up to us in chairs to kind of speak for ourselves.
No one can turn off their core and know what it's like to flop out of a chair. You just can't do that as an able-bodied person. So unless you have that person who has that lived experience, who's fallen out of their chair, you know, you can't learn it any other way unless someone's gone through it.
It's hard to do to have a very successful peer group without funding. There's a lot of funding out there. Whether it's allocated to the right places is another story. I feel that peer support is an essential spot to be putting funding resources into, and feel that it is far from funded properly internationally. That doesn't matter where you are in the world, any developed country in this world, any non-developed country or developing country in this world, it is not funded enough.
And all of the literature and all the research is nothing but positive as far as outcomes for people who engage in peer mentorship and peer support. You know, it can help us learn how to minimize our secondary complications, help us learn how to better do our own self-care to prevent, you know, UTIs from happening or skin infections. It can help us engage more with our community, feel more social, get us out of the house, get us back into the workforce. There's just so many different areas that peer support can target that it's really surprising that the funding is so low for it.
When you go through rehab, you learn the clinical way to do things. And that's great, and that's something you need to know, but once you get into your community and you start going out camping, you start going to places that aren't exactly wheelchair friendly, it's talking to a peer that tells you how they did it or their experience with it.
I mean, just that, you know, any disabled person who's getting out in the community, involved, getting out of the house, more active, you know, really decreases medical expenses, you know, their health and well-being. You know, it's a win-win for everybody.
So, I mean, it's probably one of the least funded and most needed resources that we have internationally.
So I got involved in Accessible Okanagan through James Heckner. I met him at GF Strong. No, it's talking about that, guys. So we started just doing stuff, and we met a couple other people. Ended up being 6 of us, and we'd go downtown and wheel around, go to the mall, and just hang out, and it grew and grew and grew, and Accessible Okanagan just blossomed.
Have you ever skied before at all? Or? I haven't either, yeah. So that was my first time ever on a ski hill. It's like the speed and like the movement, I was just in awe. I was just, I'm speechless, honestly.
This is as close to a trampoline as I've been since my accident. This feels amazing. Whew.
People don't think that they can do these things once they're in a wheelchair. So, I mean, now that we have programs like this and make it accessible, it just makes life more exciting for us.
For me personally, it's a connection. And the shared experience of being in a chair, both good and bad.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't even consider Accessible Okanagan necessarily a non-profit group. It is a lifestyle. It's what we do. It's almost like a family. I mean, we get together regularly. We enjoy our time regularly. We get together more than most families would get together. So, yeah, I mean, it is a lifestyle. We appreciate each other.
I would say that my peers are probably definitely teaching me, getting me out of my comfort zone, and that was definitely fun.